Hi folks, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. There in Russia, they really need to put child safety locks or barricades on their windows. There's been another death reported by the Russian state media. One of Vladimir Putin's, the president of Russia's, allies. Vladimir Magov was found on his front lawn after evidently having some sort of heart problem and falling from a third-floor window. Magov, who was 46 at the time of his death, was a member of Putin's United Russian Party, who served as Tobolsk City Duma deputy. He evidently plunged from the third-floor window of his house in Tobolsk. The news outlet reported that Magov may have suffered heart problems before his 30-foot plunge. Heart issues are frequently given as an explanation for untimely or suspicious deaths of prominent people in Russia, particularly since the start of the war against Ukraine. Magov was a lawyer and was forced out of city administration in 2016, following a corrupt scandal for which he was not convicted. Well, someone found him guilty of something, right? Upon returning to politics, Magov became one of the wealthiest local deputies of Tobolsk. It is a prominent oil town with its income around $102 million. Other notable Putin allies who have fallen to their death was Ravenol Magov. Shortly after the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine started, Lakadov Board of Directors, headed by Magov, issued a statement calling for a quick end to the conflict, describing it as a tragedy and expressed sympathy to its victims. He was first executive vice president of the company, Lakko Oil Production. They were refining and exporting oil. He regularly participated in meetings with the Russian Energy Ministry, together with oil companies ahead of OPEC meetings. He died on September 1st of last year after falling from a sixth-floor window at the Moscow Central Clinic Hospital. He had reportedly been hospitalized due to a heart attack. Maria Yakovin evidently died in February of this year after falling from a window on the 16th floor of a high-rise. She evidently was a famous Russian citizen, a media face, head of the financial support department, and entrepreneur. She also served in the position of head of financial support department of the Ministry of Defense for the Western District. She is also believed to have been a key figure in funding Russian President Vladimir Putin's war on Ukraine. Her body was found on the pavement below an apartment building in the city of Kalinsky shortly before 8 a.m., and that was also on a Wednesday. She was 58 years old, the financial director of the Western Military District, one of the 5 geographical battalions which comprises Russian army, the leader of which Putin has replaced multiple times since the invading of Ukraine last February. The local media claimed that she had called her ex-husband to tell him that she was about to jump and she was leaving her documents and packed belongings on the balcony. He evidently was the second person that week to commit suicide. Major General Vladimir Magov, who reportedly led the oppression of journalists, opposition activists, and protesters in his role at the main directorate for combating extremism, was claimed to have shot himself the Monday before, a month after being relieved of his position by Vladimir Putin. Just last November, Colonel Vadim Bozv, 44, deputy head of the Morozov Pacific Higher Naval School in Valvenstock, was found dead from multiple gunshots that was to have been described as suicide. Bozv played a role in Putin's partial mobilization efforts. He evidently, supposedly executed himself by shooting 5 gunshots into his chest while he was in the commander's office. They said he was allegedly being set up to take the fall for some of the problems plaguing the invasion of Ukraine, according to his widow. Supposedly, he entered his superior's office and shot himself 5 times in the chest. Just last December, Palval Antonov, who criticized the invasion of Ukraine, plunged to his death from a luxury hotel in India. 3 days after his friend lost his life on the same trip. Yeah, gotta watch those windows. Russia media also said that he died from heart problems. Police there in India weren't sure if he actually accidentally fell from the hotel window or committed suicide. In June, the vice president of a Russian bank, Kristina Bokova, who was 28, reportedly plunged to her death after falling from her Moscow apartment. She lived on the 11th floor. And then there was recently this highly vocal anti-war activist, Olga Nazenko. She also died from a fall, supposedly, after she was admitted for the fall in a local hospital. And then the last one I'll post is about Yugen Pelusin, whose plane blew up after a last-minute case of alcohol was put onto his plane. Yeah, so the list goes on. And will continue until they pick up those banana peels, put child safety locks on the windows, and do something about the balconies. Yeah, certain people you don't want to be political friends with or even have them taking notice of you. One past president and his family, yeah, there's been a lot of suspicious deaths associated with them. You know who I'm talking about, I am sure. He made a lot of trips to Epstein's Island. So what are your thoughts about these heart attacks where they're falling out of windows and off balconies and shooting themselves 5 times in the chest? Please put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.